Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Amateur League. We're in the winners quarterfinals, round 3. Slick is going to be playing as Colony. No, it's not the BTC Slick. This is a guy from Germany, if I'm correct. Oh, nice chopper, but the chopper gets a bigger ram. And blue overall has less chopper health until now. Should be fine. Layke on the other side of the map will be playing as Decimus. Of course, a good vortex can completely turn these situations around, so Slick is still in danger. Overall, both players will be disengaging. This map is usually all about securing those mini bases and then moving into a stable tier 2. Let's see if they can maintain it though. Sometimes you just get the craziest early mid-game attacks and they can completely roll players over. But usually Ashes does get pretty stable. It does lean itself towards a good late game because the second, third base are so close, and although the third base has a huge area to attack from, the second base is pretty safe. You can, especially if you're Colony, you can very easily camp in this garrison or this one, or both. Shield up and just wait. It's obviously true for this one as well. But Decimus I think wants to be a little bit more active around the map, pick up those mini bases, use the vortexes every time it's available. Create some chaos, build up those little power points faster. Because if you do, you get an absolutely nuts army. Colony can't quite keep up with that. He's pretty good himself with the late game. Certainly has some momentum edge with the drops. And that Capitano is extremely difficult to get rid of, but I'm not sure you want to go into an early Capitano whatsoever, because if you face the Warlord, that guy just pulls him in, stuns him, then you have Vortex, and the rest of your army also bullying the hero. So yeah, I don't think Capitano is the way to go here. You can add him in later. And those grunts are going to be picked off. The choppers against the sentinels, probably not the best of ideas. But hey, any straggler units, very easy to catch here. As I said, got the mini base bullying, but choppers against Colony, now that I wouldn't advise. Second generator, that's a very conventional strat from both sides. And there will be Capitano quite early on. It's a very good map for Banshees, by the way, but you don't necessarily want to go for it immediately. Something you could do is really just make a handful Banshees with a relatively early tier 2, capture some of these power nodes, put on some light pressure with your choppers and grunts, use up a vortex or something while you amass like 6 Banshees. Then run around the mini bases. You're not gonna have too many problems with that, and you can just save all your power, especially while you control the power nodes, and then just swap into tier 3 and go Wraiths. Like if all they did was make grunts and reavers to counter Decimus mass air, you're gonna surprise them so badly. There's actually a pretty low chance of them getting away with the counter blob. And Wraiths are fantastic to handle the Capitano, they're fantastic to do base damage. And then later you can still go into Banshees. Just gonna make use of the little momentum edge you've got. It's good that the choppers are escaping, you definitely can't handle these full health ones. Okay, here's the second power node. This might actually be the strat I mentioned. Oh wait, they're coming through, but the vortex! Very good teleportation out, however. That was well done by Slick. But when is breaking the clutch Slick coming back? We need Slick versus Slick. Why don't those guys play in the Amateur League? It's not like Halo Infinite is popping anymore. Maybe Hosteside can arrange something. I don't know. Team Respawn versus BTC show match. That's what the people want. Engineers, hunters. This is very much not what I was describing. But the Banshees would be so perfect right now. Look at this. Look at all this. This is Banshee food right here. They would be eating so well. But now we're going on to hunters. We're gonna delay the tier 3. The third base, obviously good news. Definitely can afford another generator there. Capitano's out with a shield. No skits just yet. Don't want to go out too far. His job is to protect the base, I think. Oh, they'll never come back because Nick hates the game. Oh. Well, it is what it is. It's very lame. Pew, pew, pew. Can the Capitan and the one Ranger stop all that? Probably. But this hero is a problem for the Capitano. Yes, Lick should be able to hold for now. Especially if this base upgrades and gets a shield. Depends how aggressive Layke is going to be. Still don't have a third generator, do we? Oh boy. That really can't happen soon enough. It's only 800 blue, so it's not that expensive. We got the Locust as well. There's a lot of power in this. Ooh! Oh, the engineer bubble. Okay, just in the last possible second to save the engineer. Could this be a 1 hour game? Absolutely could be. In fact, it probably will be because neither party is really interested in fighting. And you know, 9 minutes, we're still heavy on choppers, anything could happen. But I like this use for them, just go around the mini bases. I mean, the army isn't done, so... Oh, that Capitano is Megatoes. This is what I was talking... This is the Vombo combo I mentioned, guys. The Vortex just completely takes away any tankiness he has. That was very nicely done. I really like the addition of the single Reaver or 2. When you can do 2, that's even better. You want to take down those engineers, definitely. The beams coming in. Where's the bubbles? Oh god, the engineers! That was so cost effective for the beam there. Nice job by Layke. That was his 4th point then. Because he had found the siphon. No, 3rd point, excuse me. I think Slick is gonna lose the base. There's just nothing he can do about this hero right now. And he's got Boundless Siphon, right? So even if he could strip the shields, he would just gain it right back. Or gain the health right back. A dead Reaver. That's a dead Ranger. Turret's coming up, but no shields. Ah, yeah. Well, I think Layke is ready to spend all the money. Third generator, yes! We should be on fourth generator, but that's okay. Tier 3 is coming. And he should probably just push. Take out that Capitano again. Just do the combo all over. It will be fine. Maybe that's a lot of Rangers. I'm not sure. It's super urgent. You could just wait for the beam to come back. You could wait for Decimus and drop him in. But don't go home. This is a good army. Let's go again. I don't think the shield would last long, especially if this army tries to hide under it, you know. The Reavers would just shoot the engineers and that alone would drop the shield. But you got Locusts, so it's even better. And they're upgraded. They don't just have 3 little health bar pieces, they have 4 now. So that's level 1 vehicles at the very least. Got soon to be 4 mini bases. The third base is coming up. Layke is significantly ahead right now. And the tier 3 upgrade is coming in. So we should see the level 3 hero. Won't be long now. When that happens, you don't really have the capability to deal with that guy without Wraiths. It has to be mass Wraiths to beat that hero. The Rangers just kind of don't do the job anymore at that point. Taking the garrison, however, is smart, I have to say. Well, we're heading into the main. Slick is almost 100 population, or 80 population, excuse me, so we're close. Just keep pumping units, man. Oh no. That's such a bad miss. Very unfortunate indeed. Oh. That was a great pull, and Decimus is here to punish. Oh. Goodbye, Rangers. It's been nice to know you. That didn't last long at all. They're all gone. The Capitano is in trouble as well. Down he goes. And now the Locusts can just strip the shield. Should be no problem from here. There's a good number of hunters. They should definitely focus down not the hero, but the Locusts first and foremost. It's too late for that. Too late for that. I'm not sure how they can deal with absolutely everything here. Oh god, the beam right in the middle of everything. Decent split, but the engineers are gone now. Turrets are doing what they can. None of them is anti-air. Like when you have engineers around, you want to pop that anti-air turret to just get rid of them, but this is too little too late anyhow. Colony needs that big 5th point drop. Devastating host. Otherwise, the army is just not that devastating. Layke takes game 1 pretty convincingly. Welcome to game number 2. Days God Slick. It's gonna be playing as God Yap Yap. God Emperor Yap Yap. The other side of the map. Wait. Did they swap colors? Was I wrong? I was wrong. Oh my god. What? They must have swapped colors. This is all wrong. I apologize. Once again, Slick is the arbiter. And Layke is the yapper. There's a little bit of mini base stealing already. And we've got the detonation that we've missed due to that little production mishap. Excuse me for that. I think it was just my fault. They didn't swap colors. That was just me. Well, there's one mini base here. If our Yap Yap can get away with one more mini and just keep pumping the little guys and still fight off the enforcers, that's really all that's needed here. There's not gonna be a ghost opener because frankly there's not enough mini bases, and you have to fear the heavy grunt methane combo, which would be a really good answer to ghost play. but we're just not going to be seeing it. Chat is cringing with the delay. That was... I was cringing hard, to be fair. That was bad. In 3 years, I'll be thinking about this moment in the middle of the night. My brain will be like, what an idiot. I'll be like, I'm trying to sleep. Well, that's a mini base cleanup there. Because Layke just has his little blob and didn't use it. They're free units. Send them to their death, sir. That's what they're for. They're here to bully these grunts into submission. I'm gonna be really bad at it, but I mean, if you can stop the other guy from capturing power nodes, that's really all they need to do. Already paying for themselves. This raid camp is inactive. What is Layke up to? A relatively fast tier 2, I suppose? Trying to buy more mini bases still? Well, these are just gonna get picked up. Like, you gotta fight the army. There's a trap. Stasis mines might detonate there. No, didn't get to, but the cannon fodder are triggering it. It's the kind of place you want to be in if you're Layke. Oh, now we got methane wagons, but like there's nothing to support. There's only 2 heavy grunts. There's supposed to be like 5 of them or more. Because that barracks was inactive, right? We were trying to get the extra minis. But there's just not enough. Will we see maybe a glassing beam here in the middle of this group? Because that could totally change the tide of this match. The choppers are doing okay. So right now they're getting grenaded. It's a really good surround he's got. Mini base is destroyed, but it's okay as long as it takes out the entire army. This is mostly free units still. Oh, but they're running! No, free units! Trade your free units, please. Layke, not like this. They're definitely getting overrated there. Anyway, second generator for Slick has been done for a while. He's turning up. Layke only now getting the second gen, but they have a similar tier 2 timing, I would say. No, it is it is not Slick from breaking the clutch. I wish they'd come back, but that's not happening apparently, says Hosticide. I'll trust his word. Apparently they don't like the game. Didn't stop them playing it for 3 years. Big sad. Okay, 5 minutes piece, guys. A new challenger, that's it. Yeah, it's good to see someone new, especially from Europe. This game is like all Americans and Mexicans, pretty much. So to have a German in here is a big surprise. Not that common in Halo Wars. The beam isn't that amazing, but it's not bad either. Let's clean up a good number of squads, actually. Okay, now there's just a lot of methane wagons, so you gotta respect it. Suicide Grunt cleaning up most of the cannon fodder there. But the vehicles are just gonna own this group. Maybe that fourth point isn't going to be too far away now. Pressuring the main base could be an idea. There's an extra base as well for Slick. That could be a potentially really good target. Capturing the power nodes, always a high priority if you can do it. Doc says enforcer spam is really good. I disagree. I think you just go for fort wagons, you go heavy grunts, and you add in engineers. What are the enforcers gonna do? They can't fight that. If they run around and manage to pick off bases, then great. But that's why you also add some choppers in the early game. This is a really stable Yap Yap. You've got a drop ready to go. I'm not sure it's gonna be used though. These guys are from the drop. Of course, the drop completely denying the base. That's huge. Might be able to pick off the mini in the back as well. Choppers aren't being sent back to handle them. Mine not gonna go off actually. But yeah, Slick is tier 2. He's gonna add in some hunters now, so that should help deal with all this vehicle business. We're gonna have some grunt goblins. Made one by one with just one war council. Like, you normally want that second base, right? And then you can afford a second war council because you supposedly have 3 generators, but now everything has to be crammed into this one base economy. And that's just not where Yap Yap wants to be. You have all these free units to generate value in tier 1, right? So you're not needing to spend as much money on your real stuff to get basics done, like capturing power nodes and eating the crates. Some of the crates are actually still around, but it looks like finally enforcers are getting run down. So, you know, the choppers just doing their work here. If they get separated, it's definitely a kill, but maybe even without. Oh man. Don't let it get away now. Here comes the Fort Wagon squad. There's no mini base control in the middle for anyone. Base is coming up. This one's slowly getting developed. But Days God Slick still doesn't have a third generator. It does have the Arbiter out though. Third generator, guys, is so important to have. Like, I think you want to get that, especially if you're in a stable spot. You want to get that before a shield. Like, as soon as you're tier 2, why not just slap down a third generator, you know? On your main base, just protect it there. Have some turrets. Then you can shield up. It's so much easier to afford the hero and the upgrades for your infantry, upgrades for your vehicles, upgrades for your air. Have a very powerful tier 2, do some drops. Don't do huge fights without your leader powers. Arbiter mostly just wants to camp, other than those little big those pokes you want to do, right? With your leader powers. Especially your enforcer drop. It's the best to poke with. Great Grunt Dome will be stunning there, but more importantly, all the engineers are getting eaten by the beam. Oh my god. Even the Arbiter goes down. Like I said, you kind of want to be camping if you're not using all your leader powers in one big powerful attack. Now this counter attack is looking rather potent, and if Layke just adds in a Locust, he suddenly has everything he needs to strip down this base, especially if it's 2 or 3 Locusts supported by even more heavy grunts. He really does have everything he needs for this one. Shardstone Launcher, Gubbos are in. And this base won't be able to take this forever. Yeah, setup's pretty good. We've got foundry, a third generator. Things are starting to add up. Slick should be able to remake that army at least once. So there's no big disaster just yet. Marauders will be a decent answer to all this. The Rangers basically can't do anything to them, but Layke also getting some Marauders out. Wait, what's this? Oi! They're not even shooting at the extractor, they're shooting at the main base itself. The entire crew is coming over. Okay, they changed their mind, now attacking the extractor. The Locust adding in the damage. I think this base just goes down anyway. Maybe the Gobos can save it with their big heals, but the Arbiter is back. Oh, he's not even level 2 Arbiter yet. Yeah, this is gone. Oh man, Layke just suffered a huge loss here with that base. Having to fight 4 Marauders. I'm not sure he can easily take this. There's only 1 Hunter here. Massive Rangers is certainly helping though. The Arbiter can't do much. Doesn't look like we have teleport. Doesn't look like he wants to use his mines. Well, the entire Arbiter army is gone. But the heavy grunts have EMP at the very least. No, they don't actually. What was that stun then? I saw a stun. Can the base defend itself? I mean, there are 2 upgraded turrets already. Third turret is coming up. Marauders are doing what they can actually outside of the shield, which is not a bad idea at all here. Engineer coming in to try and save some stuff. The destruction of this base though was huge. Mini base finally gets cleaned up, but you know what? This base comes back up. There's mines here to spot. They can't see it, but you can always just drop in your drop. Like also trying to get a third base at the same time, but Slick has shields on both of his bases. If he can rebuild and maybe head into tier 3 in the not so distant future, things should be fine for him. Double's getting remade. This whole army will just be chilling here. See if Slick just keeps making Marauders here without too much counter units. He can go for a pretty quick tier 3, go into Wraiths, be comfortable. But Layke is already in tier 3. There's Wraith. Very much needed. And maybe we'll even see a blister back or 2. Under a shield, that would be very effective for defensive purposes. Keep his whole army at bay, maybe. That's a lot of Marauders, sir. That is a lot. Maybe worth thinking about an extra generator at this point, or even a population upgrade. It's not coming. Oh, there it is, population upgrade. Didn't have the Arbiter upgrade though. If you control that guy separately, you can cause a lot of havoc. With the extra bases, the minis. Go up to fight in the main army with him. Let's see how much damage the Wraiths can add. If Slick upgrades the turrets, he should be able to hold on for now. He does have 2 anti-vehicle turrets, so yeah, the Wraiths aren't gonna have the best of time. Shield coming up, very important. Layke isn't very rich though. Can't easily afford this. Recamp. Well, you know, Arbiter outscales in the long term, so you can just absolutely sit at home, but if you don't have a third base yourself, and the other guy does, that does add up. He's not that much better that you can just be down the base forever. Yep, has a pretty mean early late game, I would say. Okay, an event. A little attack. It's cute. Maybe a base trade? Got the Marauders. They're doing the base damage for the most part. It's very little, but it's more than nothing. Probably don't want to go into that little corner because the engineers are a prime target for a massive attack with beam. Could take all four out very quickly. Alright, Slick really doesn't want to deal with this base anymore. Just getting rid of it. Generator going down would be a big cost. It looks like this is getting done. We also have the Marauders now on the high ground, peppering this base slowly. But the big blob in the middle with the 3 Wraiths might be a little spooky to engage. You don't want to do that, I would say. Marauders are just much weaker. Under the shields, it's a different story. You could do that. You know, especially if this turret gets upgraded, especially if other anti-air upgrades come in. We are tier 3 though for Slick, and the Banshees are getting added. There's only 1 Reaver, so it's a good idea. Oof. This will take a while. A long while. Oh, there comes the beam. Not the engineers again. Oh my god, that beam paid for itself. Oh my god, the Locust too. Oh, you don't never ever defend this mini base where Slick is right now. It's just such a bad spot to be in. You get absolutely blasted by beam, and there's nowhere you can run. Layke is just standing there menacingly. Another big problem for Slick is the massive float that chat's pointing out. That's right. I called earlier for like a 3rd and 4th generator, right? When you don't spend your resources, that's opportunity cost, right? You could have had a bigger army. You could have had more buildings, more upgrades, another base, whatever, right? An engagement where you trade. Because the other guy doesn't have the resources you have here, Slick, so... If you trade evenly, or even at a slight loss, it's good. Because the other guy can't remake the stuff. Layke is not in that great of an economic position because of these repeated base losses, and it's about to happen again. Like, these little surgical strikes are great, but then we're not capitalizing on them. Now we've got the Wraiths, however, and they might change the dynamic a little bit. Let's see what happens. That was 1 Banshee. We've got all the upgrades for them, but... Well, that was 2 Banshees, right? So 2 Banshees or 0 Banshees. Alright, the anti-turrets are certainly getting to work, but now we've got a double grunt dome, so that will just take the damage for a million years. Allow this army to be victorious. There's locusts that are actually not buffed by methane. You gotta put the Fart Dragon next to them, and then they really get going. This base of Slick will probably not last, even though he does have the resources to remax. It's not gonna matter. The locusts are shredding the turrets. Turrets never had a chance, really. The base will be next. Counterattack is recalled. Everybody's needed for this defense, but it's too late. The base is dead, alongside with all the upgraded buildings. Ouch! Well, all the 1 hour long game claims have been greatly exaggerated. I think Layke can attack and win right now. Slick has high population, but I think a lot of it is queued stuff. Pre-queued. And of course we had the drop again on the far side. That's a nice surgical strike again. That's how you should do it. Hitting the mini base at the same time as well is cool. But as far as Layke goes, it's time to go. Take that main. Maybe he wants 120 pop. These guys never actually went into the main. Imagine if they had done so before the shield was up. But now it's also cloaked, so forget it, but oh well. And 3 max if you don't have buildings, yeah. True. These guys should be tier 3 upgraded, right? Looks like a big health bar, it must be. It's a good number of hunters. But I think just the 3 heroes are scary for them already. And then obviously you have to think about beam, you have to think about the methane drop. It's been a while since that beam, so must be ready soon. As I was saying, this time there's engineer shields up, but even then you have to split. Oh my god. 5 engineers into the grave right there. And these guys just can't see. Layke should be just able to strike. He's got the big yapper drop. Oh. That is a lot of firepower he just added to himself. Methane the base. Shield immediately drops. Everybody's weakened / buff, depending on what side you're on. Hunters are no more. Turrets absolutely getting eviscerated. They don't stand a chance in this. They are good turrets, but this is a full population army with nothing to stop it. So that will be a 2-0 in favor of Layke. He moves on into the winners semifinals. We want to thank our website patrons. This is by far the best way to support MetaPlays. Your contribution helps keep the project sustainable and allows us to produce more and better content. If you aren't yet a patron, check out our link in the description and get in touch to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.